Every nation has an official history. Tales of leadership, stories of heroism and courage. Accounts of battles won and lost. Glimpses of hope and glory. But there is another history. The history of unsung heroes. People who create history through commitment and perseverance, sweat and drudgery. On the evening of the 14th of November 2002, India's leading business house got together in Mumbai to pay tribute to the story of one such hero. The Aditya Birla Group was celebrating their most awaited award ceremony. By 9 o'clock at night, when the glitter had settled on nearly all the frontrunners, the winner of the most prestigious award was called onto stage.
Shri Karan Agarwala, the Lifetime Contribution Award at the 4th Aditya Birla Award for Outstanding Achievement on 14 November.
The company's chairman and the rest of the Birlas looked proud at the opportunity to acknowledge this much deserving member of their family. But it was only when Mr. Karan Agarwala stepped onto the dais that it became clear to onlookers what it was that gave the Birlas that pride.
What I have done is nothing. This is all because of 10,000 or millions of man-hours which have built Hindalco brick by brick. I don't think I deserve this, but I accept it with full humility.
The small town of Renukut is where this unassuming CEO's humility is rooted. The workers he acknowledged at the award ceremony work here. But what looks like a fully developed township today was still 44 years ago the most backward area of Uttar Pradesh. It was in 1959 that this deeply wooded silent valley began echoing with the sounds of development. Hindalco Industries Limited had been granted an industrial license by the government for setting up an aluminium plant here. With help from their American collaborators, Kaiser Aluminium, the plant was to be set up soon. Mr. S.S. Kothari, a senior member from the Birla portfolio, came here with a team of around a dozen people. One of these team members was a spirited young man who had joined this ambitious development initiative, leaving behind a job at a reputed chartered accountancy firm in Calcutta. It was only a few months earlier, in December 1959, that his life and career had taken a radical turn. He had been introduced by a relative of his to Mr. G.D. Birla.
My interview with the G.D. Birla was hardly for maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, not more than that. He asked me that, I understand you have passed law graduation also. I said, yes sir, I have done my BCom, I passed my law and I have done my chartered accountancy. He said that, can you work hard? I normally stay in the office up to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock or something like that. He said, no, I mean, can you travel? Can you go abroad? I said, I am a highly traveled person. I have traveled a lot. And he said, good, if you can work, I will give you work in aluminium. Can you join me?
For Mr. Agarwala, it was probably too short an interview to manage a satisfactory glimpse of the man he had always held in awe. But for India's most influential industrial tycoon of the 20th century, these few minutes were enough to foresee that the young interviewee would go far. A month later, on the 7th of December 1959, Mr. Agarwala started his new job in this building. and qualified to be a member of a team of dreamers. Dreamers that were soon to land up in a desolate jungle. The times were tough. Except for land and water, the place lacked basic facilities. Holding on to workers in these conditions was next to impossible. It was in these initial days itself that young Mr. Agarwala came across as a person with immense leadership qualities.
He was the most dynamic person on every count. He was a force. How to get people to work here in this area? तो आज को बिहार साइड से लोग 100 आदमी आए, कहीं 50 आदमी आए, कहीं उनको रखा गया कि भाई चलो ठीक है तुम काम करो तुमको पैसा मिलेगा, बट 2 दिन सांप देखे बिच्छू देखे पता लगा भाग लिए. हमारी हिम्मत नहीं पड़ती थी कि मैं जंगल में जाऊं, पता नहीं कहीं शेर हो मिल जाए, भालू मिल जाए, बट ही सेड नो लेट्स गो, चलेंगे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कोई नहीं मिलेगा, चलते हैं.
In a record time of 18 months, this valley was filled with the sounds and smells of early industry. The newly built lanes of Renukut started to echo with the sounds of the life they housed.
Lying on the floor.
4 decades later, the third generation has already learnt the finer aspects of a disciplined city life. The person who came to the city as a spirited young man is today their godfather, whom they all look up to. In the 44 years that he stayed here, he was to endear himself to each and every heart in the city that grew up with him. The township that has speedily developed in these few years has been drawing its lifeblood from the metal that flows out of the city night after night. Today, Renukut houses Asia's largest integrated aluminium plant that produces 345,000 tons of aluminium per annum. From the day production started at the aluminium smelter in 1962 to today, when Hindalco is close to becoming a global major, the journey has been long. The company has achieved world-class operating efficiencies through continuous expansion and modernization. This is a journey Mr. Agarwala has lived with every single moment.
I remember he had very little knowledge of aluminum plant. But in the evening he would call me at about 7:30 to 8 when everybody will go home, and he would make me sit and he would tell me, explain me with drawing. He would say always drawing, not figure or sketch. Drawing is the pet word. Say drawing बना के मेरे को बता क्या हुआ आज प्लांट में कैसा हुआ मुझे समझा. So maybe I remember for so many days I would be detained in the evening, and he would try to pick up things from the plant, try to know the technology, try to know the details of the process, the problems and the solutions.
From a person who knew only about accountancy, he was soon to become a technocrat, a metallurgist, a chemical engineer, so much so that he was to become synonymous with Hindalco.
He had such inane conviction that he was prepared to take risks that many of us will think unsafe. He was a dreamer, and he would dream which we thought impossible to achieve. But you know what is the credit? What made him, as Karan Agarwala, unique is that at the end of the day he had the leadership to achieve what all of us thought is impossible to achieve.
He has built this organization from scratch. I mean, the statistics are astounding. The company has grown more than almost 20 times. And he has been able to do it with almost the same group. And what you do notice here is that tremendous sense of respect and loyalty which the group has towards him. He only has to say something needs to be done, and I think they'll go ahead and do it.
morning of the 30th of December 1994 was probably a very touching one for Mr. R.P. Shah. As he sat in his office, his secretary came in and handed him an envelope. It was a letter appreciating his performance in the company. It was signed by the whole-time director of the company. Mr. Shah is just one of the many who've got such personal notes from Mr. Agarwala. But it is this human touch that makes him and every other employee feel special.
If you start taking interest in the personal activities also of the employees, that adds to your intimacy. Then you have the relationship created, which otherwise will be only a work relationship with the worker and the staff. But if you start considering them as a part of your family, then your intimacy gets strengthened, your feeling towards them gets strengthened, and you start feeling as if you are a one family.
To my surprise, he has developed a lot of contemporary, he has equipped himself with a lot of contemporary management practices, including HR. And I can very well say that even though I am from HR professional, he knows much better than me in terms of dealing with human being as well as contemporary practices, whatever is going across the world.
When you meet him, he will shake your hand and he won't let go of your hand for a few seconds. He would put his other arm around you, making you feel really wanted. You wouldn't feel that you're intruding on his time. And I think for such a senior person and the doyen of the aluminum industry in the country, to do that, not just to me, but I've seen him doing it across the levels, it puts them at ease immediately, and they do not hesitate to walk into Mr. Agarwala's cabin.
It is little wonder then that for the past 28 years, not a single working minute has been lost because of any labor problem. All this despite the fact that working with this hard taskmaster was never an easy job. Most of the executives sitting in this boardroom would swear to that. Mr. Agarwala's close associate, Mr. R.K. Kasliwal, would probably know best about his temper.
He used to call me 20 times in a day and scold me almost 21 times. I tried to leave this place 2-3 times, not because that I am getting some other job, but only because I could not bear the way in which he was talking to me. But then my father sent me back that no, he is giving you training.
शुरू में आया तो जब वो थे तो बहुत डांटते थे, तो सबको वही प्यून उनके पास रुकने के लिए तैयार नहीं, ड्यूटी करने के लिए तैयार नहीं. कई प्यून तो छोड़ के अपना इधर उधर ट्रांसफ़र करा लिया कि भाई हम चले नहीं कर पाएंगे.
I have been knocked off. He had told in very sarcastic manner, क्या अभी वही बात करता है? This is no way of doing things. But on several occasions, he has given me a very patient hearing, understood the whole situation and changed his decision. That is what makes him a tall personality. A person who values the views and dissent of his subordinates.
The 25-year-old shoes and the equally old clothes might at first sight seem like a statement of simplicity, but their significance is much more than what is obvious. They are probably one of the few remnants of the golden Nehruvian era of economic nationalism, an era when industrial pioneers like G.D. Birla fought for and established companies that created wealth for the country as well as for themselves. G.D. Birla's vision was not just to transform barren tracts of land into profitable assets, but also to improve the material and human conditions of the nation.
I was very highly influenced by his personality, his way of thinking, his way of working, and the broad-mindedness which he had for the community. Better citizens for the country are not created only by the schools or by the leaders by giving speeches in the meetings. By creating wealth in the nation, by putting that wealth in the reproductive system, by creating more jobs, by creating counterparts and a chain of the activities.
These teachings were to make a difference to thousands of lives around Renukut. Hope suddenly had a new meaning for these villagers. The rural development initiatives that Mr. Agarwala took up changed the economic conditions of at least 340 villages. Need-based projects related to sustainable livelihood, essential education, community health, family welfare, women empowerment and infrastructure development were to change these villages' lives forever.
जो यहाँ के ट्राइबल हैं, जो यहाँ के गरीब हैं, जो गांव के लोग हैं, जो गांव के प्रधान हैं, वो सभी अग्रवाल जी को उनके गांव के लिए एक मसीहा मानते हैं, उनको भगवान स्वरूप मानते हैं कि वो इस क्षेत्र का जो गांव की खासकर विशेषकर जो समस्या थी जिसे लोग सुनते नहीं थे, अग्रवाल जी ने उनके समस्याओं का समाधान किया और आज उनके गांव का विकास जो है वो सामने नज़र आ रहा है.
As the Hindalco family gets together on these grounds to celebrate Independence Day, the function speaks much about Mr. Agarwala's stature as a philanthropist and a patriot. The thought of his industry having made its own little contributions to the nation brings a lump to his throat. As he dreams, everyone dreams too, of an India that could be up there with the best. There are other, probably less glamorous reasons as well that distinguish his life from the ordinary accounts that pass today for corporate biographies. The reasons lie not in his personal triumphs, but the impact his effort and involvement has had on thousands of ordinary lives.
You see, in life, besides your work and your family life, there are many other lives. One of them is to serve the humanity. I can't think any better way than what he has served. I have seen in the time of calamities, accidents, sickness of ordinary people, how he takes it as a personal tragedy, personal pain, and do what he can with best of his power.
Every day, around 100 people come to see him, either at home or at his office with their various problems. For them, he is a father who knows the solutions to all their miseries even before they get to tell him the problem.
सब मजदूरों पर हमेशा ध्यान रहता है साहब का. अगर किसी के एक अंगुली में भी चोट लग गई तो क्यों लगी, कैसे प्लांट में लगी, ये पता लगाओ. उसकी अंगुली कट गई, कैसे कटी. हाँ, सेफ्टी वालों को डांटेंगे, IRO वाले को डांटेंगे, डिपार्टमेंट को डांटेंगे, डिपार्टमेंट हेड को डांटेंगे. क्यों हुआ, पहले बताओ कि कैसे हुआ, पता लगाओ इसको कैसे हुआ.
किसी का दुख सुख हुआ, अगर पता चला कि कोई भी एक कर्मचारी छोटा सा, एक चपरासी, एक स्वीपर भी बीमार हुआ अस्पताल में, तो पहुंच जाएंगे देखने के लिए. इनमें ये नहीं कि हम होल टाइम डायरेक्टर हैं या प्रेसिडेंट है.
कभी कभी तो पहले मेरे को बहुत ख़राब लगता था कि घर में तो टाइम देते नहीं हैं और कभी इधर कभी उधर, कभी उसका कभी इसका, खाली पंचायती करते रहते हैं आप. लेकिन फिर जब ये सुनने को मिलता है कि अरे साहब ने इतना किया, अरे साहब ने हमारा इतना किया, तब मेरे को लगता है कि नहीं, ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, हर आदमी नहीं कर सकता ये.
In the summer of June 1994, the residents who had been so habituated to knocking on Mr. Agarwala's door for help were suddenly seen knocking at the gates of every place of worship in Renukut. Mr. Agarwala was in Rochester's Mayo Clinic under treatment for a serious bout of neurocysticercosis, an illness he had caught during an official trip to Hong Kong. But even as he battled personal failures in health, the workaholic in him refused to take a backseat.
I was amazed to see that though he was ill, but he was conducting the official business as usual. On telephone he used to manage, just calling his senior people here twice a day, and he will control all the things and give them guidance how to work, what to do, what changes to be brought, what is to be purchased, what alternative arrangements if there is any problem. And he was practically fully commanding even from the hospital.
The doctor had to one day come and tell him that, Mr. Agarwal, you shouldn't take any decisions, any business related decisions, because you are under heavy medication and it's a false sense of well-being that you are feeling actually. You're not well, it's just the false sense of well-being just because of the medication. So please don't make any business decisions which you may repent later.
He kept us calling from there and he kept telling us, kept encouraging us, kept giving us confidence that even if I am not there, I am sure that you and your colleagues will do a great job. That was very touching and it shows his concern. Even when he was critically ill, he was all the time worried about the annual general meeting, at the same time alive to the situation that he has to give us courage to deal with the situation.
Mr. A.V. Birla talked to him in US. He was very much concerned. He was tossing in the room with a telephone in his hand from one corner to another. He was asking about his health. And what he was replying is that how the matter is going on, how the meetings are going on. So such kind of thing that he never thought of any other thing except the job, except the work, except for benefit of Hindalco.
As early as 1947, G.D. Birla had remarked, "Any fool can establish a business when there is a boom, but it is during a period of depression that one's ability to establish and run a business is really tested." As Mr. Agarwala prepares to retire from Hindalco on the 2nd of October 2003, he is content that with G.D. Babu's blessings, he has been able to steer the company through all times, insignificant and momentous.
Responsible persons even are retired at ages in which they perform their best. I think A.K. Agarwal has yet many years to perform and give the best of his experience.
On the 30th of August 2003, the auditorium prepared itself for one of its last functions with the retiring president. Mr. Agarwala steps onto the dais to introduce formally to the Hindalco staff their new managing director.
मैं आपको एक ऐसे शख्स से मिलाता हूँ जो आपके प्रतिष्ठान का अक्टूबर महीने से मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर होने जा रहा है, Mr. Devu Bhattacharya.
And while the audience is about to give a hearty clap of welcome to Mr. Bhattacharya, Mr. Agarwala is not happy with the notice the audience is making of his successor.
खड़े होके ताली बजा के उनका जोर से स्वागत करें, Mr. Devu Bhattacharya.
His idea of welcoming change is absolutely different.
He advised each one of us present in the hall to extend fullest cooperation, support and help to Mr. Bhattacharya so that he would feel more comfortable. In the response, Mr. Bhattacharya said, Mr. Agarwala cannot be replaced by anybody.
He is a great man and Hindalco and the group will miss him for many years to come. I think we'll do justice to his capability and our honor to him if we can emulate his qualities and at least get a few fractions of that.
I don't think there is any individual today who can rightfully fill, as they say, his shoes. So it is something which one can only try to do. But the biggest advantage which one has is that all the good things that he has done comes as a legacy to a person like me who joins here.
The next morning was probably just another day for him. But it wasn't for all those who had only known Hindalco through him, for whom every corner of Renukut reminded them of moments shared with him.
अभी एक दिन घंटी बजाई, रज़ी को बुला के लाओ। इत्तेफाक से उस ज़माने में मेरा क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट हो रहा था, तो मैं ग्राउंड में था। यहाँ से फ़ोन किया तो ग्राउंड का टेलीफोन ख़राब था, तो ट्रांसपोर्ट के लोगों ने बोल के गाड़ी भेजी। मुझे मालूम हुआ तो मैं, लेकिन आने में ज़ाहिर कुछ देर हो गई। अरे तुम कहाँ थे? सब तुम मुझे ये बताओ मैं तुम्हें कहाँ ढूंढूं? हॉस्पिटल में ढूंढूं, मार्केट में ढूंढूं, लाइब्रेरी में ढूंढूं, तुम्हें कहाँ ढूंढूं? मैंने सब, मैं तो क्रिकेट ग्राउंड गया था। अब की तनख्वाह तुम्हें क्रिकेट ग्राउंड में मिलेगी।
अरे भाई तुम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट की हो, इंजीनियर की हो, तुम मेरे डिग्री लाकर कल बताना। उनका ये नहीं था कि उनको कहते थे, ताकि उनको मोटिवेट जानने के लिए वे ऐसा करते थे।
क्या हुआ? आगे ना फिर तुम, मैं तो मालूम है तुम कर नहीं सकते हो। देखो भाई, इस सोचने का काम जो है ना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। छोड़ दे सब, तेरे बस का नहीं है।
कितने भी एक्सप्लेनेशन दोगे, असफलता को सफलता में बदल नहीं सकते।
Just when it seems that all of them will remember well the lessons Mr. Agarwala taught them, and such lessons could possibly never hamper the smooth running of the company, one of his associates betrays his lessons of optimism.
इस साहब के जाने के बाद कोई हमारी पर्सनली बात नहीं है, पूरे रेणुकूट की जनता की तकलीफ है। आज हमको तकलीफ हो जाए, कोई हम बीमार हो जाए, घर में कोई कुछ हो जाता है, तो हम लोग सोचते हैं कि साहब तो है कोई, पर अब वो सहारा नहीं रहेगा किसी। पूरा छोटा छोटा बच्चा रेणुकूट का इस तरह पर।
Mr. Agarwala's family gets together for a Dadu versus Anand Sunday match of cricket, making the most of the few days that they have left in this home in Renukut. This laughter will soon be etched like photographic plates in their most cherished memories.
My wife is doing her packing and everything for movement, but I am not concerned. For me, till I am here on the 1st of October, I will continue to work exactly in the same manner I have been doing. And from 2nd of October, I will be taking another challenge. So I consider that these phases, one should always be proactively looking to the fact that in your own movies, for example, you do one scene, you cut off that scene and you start another scene. So it is, life is like that. One must always take in its own strides.
As twilight settles on the plant, the father figure of this Hindalco township will gracefully move on to another scene in his life, secure in the knowledge that the plant he has nurtured for the better part of his life will grow to greater heights in the future. But for the people who reside and work here, this was probably the most moving scene of their lives, a scene that will live on in their mind's eye for years to come.